Our state has some incredible problems. My name is Lynn Hinderaker. I'm here to talk about that with you and talk about the trends that have shaped this state and dragged us in one direction or another. We're not really we're not realizing the dream we had way back in the early 2000s or even around 2008 or 9 or 10. My name is Lynn Hinderaker. Welcome to WowBiz Nebraska. We're going to get it on right now. Is your product like a meatball? That's right. I'm going to like it to a meatball because it's a commodity. In most cases, most products that are doing fairly well in the marketplace are in fact duplicatable. They are commodities, and somebody's coming at you from one direction or another, and they're doing something very similar and maybe doing it a little less expensively. So I have got a suggestion for you. I stole it from Seth Godin. He said most products are just like meatballs. Anybody can make a meatball, they're good here, they're good there. They're all commodities. But he said, if you take a meatball and you put ice cream on it, and then you put some whipped cream on top of that, and maybe even a cherry on top, you got a meatball sundae. So what I'm trying to tell you right here is you need to think about that, right? You need to think about the fact that your product needs to be a novelty, special, exciting, delicious in a certain way. And so think about the importance of meatball sundaes in your business operations. I'm Lynn Hinderaker. Thank you for joining me here on WowBiz Nebraska. It's so much fun to chat with you and share some of the hard-won lessons that I've been able to attract over a number of years. And by the way, thinking of that, I'm going to ask you, this is actually a kind of a tough question. Do you think that we are, like right now, in I'll call it a value revolution? I'm going to use that phrase. Do you think that we are in that mode? Or do you think a value revolution is kind of like coming up? Or do we just pass through it? Are we going through that right now? People talk a lot about inflation and obviously the price of gas, the price of eggs, all that good stuff. But let's back up for just a second. I'm going to tell you this. The very first value revolution, as far as I'm concerned, took place in 1987, 88, 89, 90, 91. That's when the first value revolution, in my opinion, took place. Then in 2008, when we had a clear-cut recession, coming out of that, nearly everybody was saying, we've got to cut prices, we've got to find some way to create value so people keep on buying our product and service, even though it's tough out there and people are digging in their pockets. So that was value revolution number 2, 2008. And then right after that, 2009 and 10, kind of in that period of time when the economy kind of pulled up again and it became a little bit healthier. So now here we are in this situation with tariffs and the new president and a lot of confusion. And as a result of that, a lot of consumers say, something like 48 or 50% of consumers say they're watching their wallets, they're unsure about whether they should spend money now or not or whatever. So I'm telling you right now, I think we are heading into, and this is a positive way to talk about it, not a negative, it's a recession, nobody's going to make any money. No. We're going to have a value revolution. A value reinvention, I guess, would be another way to think about it. Now, let's go back to that very first chapter in the value revolution. That was when Taco Bell became the value leader. And how did they do that, by the way? That was $1 billion transformation, $1 billion turnaround. And this is what it looked like in Lawton, Oklahoma, Wichita Falls, in Dallas, and then it kind of spread quickly into Los Angeles. This is what we had. We had these tray liners. You can see them right now. And you can see the headline, right, about change. And nothing ever changes, everything is changing, nothing really changes, etc. And so all the product categories right there. And this was a 49, 59, 69 cent consumer revolution. Big deal. You're never going to see one of these again, except for right here on this show. I was personally involved with this. You might have guessed that. And I wrote all this and designed all this at that particular time. And it was luckily for me and for our client at the time, Taco Bell and PepsiCo, it went extremely well. I'm talking about extremely well. But why did it go so well? Well, if you think back historically, and this is very relevant, by the way, if you're in sales or marketing or maybe the president of the company, back in the 80s, early 80s and all the way up through the mid 80s, it was a prestige era. It was all about Ralph Lauren. It was all about, the best and logos and having a great logo on the back of your car, whatever. It was a strong drive. Customers were trying to differentiate themselves from the pack, from everybody else, by doing really upscale things and embracing those upscale things, even if it's a coat or a jacket or a car or whatever. And that went on for about, like I said, maybe 5-6 years, something like that. But many people, and you know this where I'm coming from here, many people went too far with that. They used their credit cards and they overspent and so on. So then shortly around 86, 87, all the media was talking about how Americans are struggling to pay their bills. They don't have enough money. They have too many credit card debts and so on. And so the pendulum, right, went the other way. The pendulum went the other way from status, prestige, expensive, luxe, all that. And it went this way. And now all of a sudden everybody was looking for inexpensive items, goodwill, all those kinds of things that they can pick up some great deals. It's an interesting cycle, kind of predictable in a way, and it goes on and off all the way through our economy, even right up to this particular time, which is being heavily infused and inflected by, of course, our fear and anxiety about artificial intelligence. That's another topic, but I'm just saying it does have an impact on our economy and our apprehension. Do we have plenty of money? We're not going to have any money at all. Oh, I won't have a job, etc. So spending goes back and forth based upon those perceptions. Again, I'm Lynn Hinderaker with WowBiz Nebraska. Thank you for tuning in. This is our 130th show. 130th show. Fantastic. I'm so excited to be here, and thank you so much for having me. A great production team and so on right here at KPAO in Omaha, Nebraska. All right, listen. Some people say, what should I do now? I would say that feeling, that vibe of, I don't know what to do with my company. I don't know if we should go gangbusters, if I should pull back and kind of hold on, talk about costs, lowering costs, let people go, or go the other way and kind of be bold and exciting and so on. And so I'll just kind of sit here in the middle, not really sure what I'm going to do. So I'm going to share with you 13 ideas. 13 ideas. We'll start the first half of the show. We'll have a promotional spot here in the middle, and then we'll finish up with many of them on the back end of the show. And I'm going to show you right now, these are gilded chain links, all right? Gilded is, of course, what I'm trying to say here. Chain links. Each one of them, of course, closely connected to each other. Very beautiful, of course. Each one of those links kind of represents a mindset, a step, some way for you to manage your company and your career, even your personal psychological self-image, to manage it optimally. You don't really know what you're going to do, how you're going to react, what your friends or your neighbors have to say about the economy and about your company and about how you are behaving right now. So the question is, how do I move forward? And how do I step from one link to the next, and do the right thing in the right way? So I'm going to talk to you right now about some of those steps, shall we say. When I'm going to assume you're asking me, Lynn, what should I do right now with my company? And kind of, what should I be thinking about, man? Right? So we're going to start off right back. This would be the first link in this beautiful chain link situation. And I'm just going to be very quick about it. And that would be to think small. To think small. Now, I know that'll hit you. Most people think they should think big. But Tom Peters told us this years ago. If you think small, you can be flexible. You can move this way. You can move that way. And it's a great concept or a great attitude. You must always be able to think small and get in and get out and just be flexible and quick and nimble. All right, so that's the first of our 13 links. I'm here on WowBiz Nebraska. I want to thank you so much. This show is being brought to you by Future Force. I'm going to hold up a banner here. Future Force is a system to help employees, and of course, you know, we're dealing with a lot of workforce issues, as well as the managers and supervisors, department heads. They're all struggling, trying to figure out, why do these people come to work for us? They want all this money, and they want benefits, and they want this, and they want that, and then they, for some reason or another, they walk out one day. They just go, I don't like it here. I'm going to leave. I don't like my boss. Boom, gone. And this is going on again and again. And it's a problem associated with the employees, but also with the managers. When I spoke to Secretary of Labor here in the state of Nebraska, John Albin, I told him about this. He said, I think the fact that you are focusing and managing and coaching, again, supervisors, department heads, the people that are hands-on, that have to take care of these employees, Gen Z and Gen Y in particular, and then give them the coach. And the key idea is this, and it could go on and on and on, but I just want to tell you this. The number one thing, when you talk to these young folks, and they're working, there could be hundreds of them, right? And a lot of them don't like each other, frankly, and don't hang out or whatever, but the key idea is growth. Growth is the key idea. They want to grow. They know they're not going to be there forever. On the other hand, they like to go. They like to get all the benefits and so on. So they do like to move forward, but they need to have career training, career coaching. They want to feel like they're growing somehow. Sometimes they need help with communication. They don't know how to talk to the boss. They don't know how to send an email to anybody. You can't just text your way to the top these days. So it's a very interesting thing. And once again, the Future Force team provides all of this, 1 quarter at a time, 13 weeks at a time. The Future Force group provides motivational training, customized development, career training, retention, productivity measurements, and so on. And very interesting, somebody says, you're here, what are you trying to do? I'm trying to help you understand who you are. So we do a lot of personality typing with Future Force and help people kind of come to understand, that's how I am. And I'm an introvert, I'm an extrovert, whatever it is. That affects how I deal with my job right here. So it's a very exciting thing, Future Force. If you know a manufacturer in Nebraska, a distributor, a large organization, they have knowledge workers, or they have hourly laborers, get a hold of Future Force, ladies and gentlemen. That is the balm that deals and heals with the problems in our organizations today. That's right. Thank you so much, the Future Force people right now. We are grateful for your involvement with WowBiz Nebraska. Yes, absolutely. Well, listen, I'm going to continue on here. I got started with my list of 13 things to do to add value and have the link that I just showed you, kind of the symbol, of course, for what we're doing and trying to add value. We're trying to give people a way to make their company work better and help them perform, I guess, better in the marketplace. So the second one, we mentioned the one, it's kind of an interesting thing, think small, kind of think in an entrepreneurial way, even though you're part of a group, part of a team. But the second one would be avoid mediocrity, right? And think creatively. In fact, embrace creativity. That's the way that you offset this feeling of mediocrity. A lot of people quit because the whole place, nobody cares about it going to the top, so to speak. They just keep doing the same thing again and again. So there is a mediocrity that kind of cultivates and shapes the culture, and that's a big time turnoff, but you have to work hard at it. So that's another one. Now the third one here would be a simple phrase, but boy, oh boy, is it difficult to get it down and get people to embrace it, and that is let go of the past. Let go of the past. We're always dwelling. Most of the time we are actually dwelling. We're thinking about the past. If we have fear in our lives, by the way, it's usually due to the fact that we have been thinking about the past and we don't want to get sucked into a future problem. So we dwell in the past and we don't even know we're doing it. So try not to hang on to the past. Let it go, move forward, even though it's kind of unclear about exactly what will happen. The next one is even more frightening or worrisome, and that is called embrace failure. Embrace failure. You know, recently I had the opportunity to shoot some video in a building in downtown Omaha. I had it kind of all lined up, or at least I thought I did. And I went over there a couple days in advance, and I was talking to people about we might be able to shoot some video and help your family and good for your company and all that good stuff, and just kind of talking it up. And some people were interested, some people weren't. But as I was walking throughout the building, a manager came to me, a property owner, and said, "I'm sorry, but you can't do that here. We need you to leave. We no more videos shooting going on right here in this building." Now this was this was hard for me to accept because we had good intentions and we were trying to help people and so on, and pricing was incredibly low and so on, and yet we were told that we need to get out of the building, no more discussions about video. So no matter who you are, if you're trying, you're pushing to the limit, you're trying to do something special and unique, be prepared. It's very possible that you will fail, and you need to be able to kind of handle that and put it in a learning context. Now, this is kind of similar to that, but a little bit different. And here's the three words: do the opposite. I love this. I love this piece of advice. Somebody comes to me and said, "What do you think I should do, Lynn?" Blah, blah, blah. And I said, "What were you doing?" "Well, I was doing this. Do the opposite." Do the opposite. Well, I wouldn't have thought about that, but maybe at this point, maybe that's a really good idea. I'll give it a try. Do the opposite. You'll find out it opens you up, right? It opens you up to kind of a new mindset. Another one, similar but different, and that one is this, and I think it's probably the most common one that I personally use. That is, imagine the possibilities. So no matter where you're at in your career, your cycle, your business, and so on, just stop for a second and say, what are the possibilities here? What is possible for me or my company under these circumstances? What could happen? That's a really open-ended question. It's interesting to have that conversation over a cup of coffee or whatever and discuss, well, there's a trend here and our competitor's going there. So maybe there's an opening over here. I don't know. Let's think about what the possibilities would be if we did that. See? Those kinds of conversations are extremely healthy and can be catalytic, one of my favorite words. Now, the next one is ironic. That's another good word. Put yourself out of business. Now, this is tough. Most of us hang on to our careers, our jobs, our positions, the money stream, whatever it is, we're hanging on there tight, right? So put yourself out of business is really a very interesting idea. But I've seen it again and again. What happens is you create a new product and service. You spend maybe a number of years promoting it. It matures. It gets better and better. People are buying. Now, what a lot of people will do is they'll sell the whole company, or they'll sell the product or whatever and say, here, take it all. You take it to the next level. You get paid well. You move on. You start over. Because starting over is tough, but it really is, in hindsight, it's the most fun. So put yourself out of business. Now, there's my favorite one. 2 words. My favorite word. Reject limits. Those 2 words. Reject limits. Now, this is a tough one. People will say, oh, no, come on. Give me that's a long shot, man. That won't work. Some of you might know that I'm involved with economic development, or at least trying to be involved across the state. I've got some great ideas and systems for attracting knowledge workers into our state and retaining people who are already here, young workers and so on. And people will come to me. And then as I was doing this, as I was kind of thinking about, I came up with this word, urban natural. Some of you know that I've been talking about that for a while. And I'm watching TV, I'm talking about the polarization and dividing and people coming at each other, and I'm looking at it and I'm looking at this word, urban natural, which has 2 opposites, and America's at 2 opposites, Nebraska's and has 2 opposites with rural and urban people. All of a sudden I'm going, whoa, this word urban natural should be a political word. It should be the word that is the third political party. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this, right? A lot of people, young people in particular, don't care about Republicans, don't care about Democrats. They're not thrilled about either one of those parties. Maybe this word urban naturalism should be shoved right on the table, right into the middle of all of this and say, How about this? How about we embrace this? Because if you can get opposites to come together, as we do with syllables in a word, only we're talking about human beings or departments or groups or whatever, you bring them together, right? Some very interesting things can happen. Positive things, obviously. All right, now, here's another one. This kind of goes along with the whole notion about no limits and so on. It's called aim beyond. A lot of people say, well, we got this product and here's the industry over here, and we're going to go over here and we'll try to sell as much as we can, hope people will buy it and they'll pay for us. And here's the limits, right? Here's where we are. That's the game. That's the game board. That's what we're playing the game there, right? But what I'm trying to tell you right here and what these two words say is aim beyond. In other words, change the industry. Change the industry that you're talking about, that you're pulled into. Now, I have done this, accidentally in some cases, by the way, 10 times in my career. I know it sounds crazy, but really, I've transformed 10 industries since I was 19 years of age. So I know what it looks like to say, let's get beyond the hassles and the incremental, and we'll do it cheaper and we'll do it better, and boom, way over that. Go way over that, right? And then say, that's the solution over there. That's the solution over there. Let's go beyond all this incremental stuff. And that's what that urban natural piece is, economic development. We're too modest and too mediocre and too limited in our perception of what we're capable of doing. We have more power than that. Now, here's an interesting phrase. It's always a moving target. That's what you've heard it all the time. You never really hit a home run. You never do. If you're lucky to get to a double or a triple, because there's always something that hinders and compromises your effort. Get to second base and you're way ahead of just about everybody else. Now, here's an interesting phrase, almost as powerful as aim beyond. It's called put it all together. Pull it all together. I'm trying to develop a coalition right now of urban natural companies that sell certain things that fit this word urban naturalism. I saw some handmade soaps, kind of expensive, beautiful soap products. That certainly would be urban natural. But then there's some interior design, there's some floor coverings over here. All of these, at first glance you say they don't have nothing to do with each other, but they do. See, they do. So you pull it all together around one word, one concept called urban naturalism. And then you say, hey, ladies and gentlemen, y'all are urban natural. You people over here, you're urban natural, come over here. Come walk the circle, right? Meet all these people here in the community that also sell something that is ideal for you and your value system. I love it. All right, now listen, this is the big one. We're going to wrap this up here because this is the PowerPoint right here. I'll read the phrase. It says, have the courage to lose sight of the shore. Wow. That's something, isn't it? Just imagine yourself in a boat in a big pond or big lake, and you're out there and you just have a couple oars, you're by yourself, there's maybe a little wind, it's a little choppy on the water, you kind of want to stay near the shore. But here, this is what this is saying. Now, it's all obviously a symbol, shall we say, or a metaphor. You got to get that oar. Now, you've got your product, you got your business model, you got your vision, you got what you're trying to get done, but you're close to the shore, push off, right? Boom. Now we're out all by ourselves, and that's how entrepreneurs feel most of the time. They feel they pushed themselves away from the shore. It's a very exciting time, but it can also be a very frightening time for a business person. So push yourself away from the shore. And then finally, as we wrap up here, transform, your self-image. You're watching WowBiz Nebraska. That means you're a certain kind of person. You don't stop learning. You don't say, well, I already knew all that. He's full of nonsense. I don't care about that. I never heard anybody say that before. No. You're watching this show for a reason. This show's been around 5-6 years now, at least, maybe a little bit more, maybe 7 years. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you, stick with me. Listen carefully. Take the words, don't question them, apply them so quickly you don't even have to think about it. Push yourself away from the shore. And then finally, when you're all out there by yourself, tell yourself a story. Tell yourself your life story, your career story, what it's like to be you. Now, your business has been going on, so on and so forth. You push yourself away. You got a new idea. and you're going to be out in the middle of the lake by yourself. This is your new idea. This is your innovation. So before you get on the other side of the shore, which would be representative of kind of your complete life, so to speak, then you tell yourself, this is who I was. This is what happened. This is the chapter in my life. This is my career as it evolved. These are the setbacks. These are the problems. The people that forgot about me, that left me behind. I still kept going. I'm out in the middle of the boat right now, and I know that I'm capable of innovating. I'm helping companies grow and so on, but they don't know I'm coming. They don't know I'm coming. And I'm coming with this boat, and I don't even see the shore. Now, bad things could happen, but some really, really good things could happen as well. Wow, that was fun to share with you, and I really appreciate you sticking with me. Got better and better, didn't it? My name is Lynn Hinderaker. Again, this is WowBiz Nebraska. The show is brought to you by Future Force. Think about any manufacturer, distributor, big operation, a lot of employees. You got to track down the people at Future Force, because those people, let me tell you, can make a big difference in the individual lives of the employees and the supervisors, but also make them so productive that the owners or the top management can make a lot more money. Attract investors. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you soon. Don't forget about WowBiz Nebraska. I'm Lynn Hinderaker. Have a great week. See you later.